Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for one of those Tuesday Trophy Talk Trophy Update type videos. Today's date is Tuesday, April the 22nd of 2025. So this will have covered a 2-week period of April the 8th through the 21st of 2025. So I do apologize for not doing a video last week. Honestly, I didn't really make any progress the previous week. Partially because I was, traveling for work for a few days and stuff like that. So I didn't really make enough progress for it to really warrant a trophy update. It would have been like 2 or 3 total trophies. It wouldn't have been worth it in my opinion. So now there's at least a little bit more to talk about because I am happy with some of the progress being made here as 3 games have been worked on, including 1 being completed. So first off, we can talk LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I haven't made as much progress in this as I would have liked to have made, but we're getting there slowly whenever I have time to play it. Part of it is the fact that I'm also working on a collectible guide with a couple other people on PSN Profiles, and because of that, it takes a little bit longer to get through each level because I'm also working on that at the same time, trying to make sure I mark down where every collectible is collected, stuff like that. So within the past couple of weeks, I completed my first Super Story, including beating a time on it, which I got through that first Episode 4 Super Story in like 45 minutes, because it's by far the easiest one. So got through that, and then finished all the gold bricks in Episode 4, A New Hope. Episode 5, I'm pretty close to being done with, maybe like 1 more mission, and then the Super Story should be all that's left there. Episode 6, I haven't made a lot of progress on yet, but we're getting there, of course. Already had the LEGO City level done, purchased certain things, gonna wait on purchasing a ghost character until I have all the multipliers going. 6 million studs, of course, not there yet, but I should get pretty close to that by the time I finish the remaining gold bricks, because now I'm at the point where I'm getting 100,000 studs for every gold brick I get, so should definitely be getting there fairly soon. Also finished off the Episode 2 bonus level, the Count Dooku mission, got through that no problem. Haven't done this one yet. I might save it for last again because it's an easy one to save for last. Obviously, I haven't purchased all the characters or vehicles because I gotta save studs, and then 4 billion studs, of course, not there yet. So yeah, progress is being slowly made in this game. I just haven't been playing it that much because I've been busy with other stuff, just trying to knock out other games, as well as working on editing the next trophy video, which is actually LEGO Star Wars 2 on the PS5. Next up, NCAA EA College Football 25. So this game kind of came up out of nowhere. It was on sale fairly recently, which is why I decided to buy it and start working on the trophy list. Now, it's certainly not an overly hard Platinum trophy, and it's definitely on the easier end when it comes to sports games at this point in time. And it's also a fairly quick one. You can do it in like 10 to 15 hours. You could probably do it even faster if you're actually like really good at the game and understand everything. So a majority of the trophies in this one are pretty easy. So for this one, just play a Play Now game once. I, of course, played as Clemson against, I think Georgia Tech was my first opponent. I beat them by like 70 points despite never having played one of these games in the last like 10 to 15 years. Because for those who don't know, I am not big into sports games. I've never really been that good at them. I've never been that interested in most of them. But this one is intriguing because it's college football, which I actually have an interest in now compared to when the last one released in like 2013 or something. I didn't care that much. So I care much more now and understand it more. So, and I also have a team to cheer for, that being Clemson, of course. So this trophy was super easy. Basically one of the first trophies you're going to get. Nothing to worry about there. These 3 are all in, I believe, the Dynasty mode or something. I don't think they're particularly hard to get. I think you can sim through a good bit of it, but I'm not entirely sure. But even if I have to play normally, you can adjust the sliders for your enemy teams for story mode stuff to the point at which I really don't think I'm going to struggle that much at getting any of these, probably. It'll be the first time that a Clemson player is ever allowed to win the Heisman because it's clearly not allowed in real life because, I mean, Deshaun got snubbed for it twice and Trevor Lawrence got snubbed for it twice, so clearly it's never going to happen. But that being out of the way, then we get to a few other trophies. So this one is not particularly hard, but it is very finicky. And one issue that I had with the trophy guide for this game is that it's actually wrong on a handful of trophies. This is one of them. You have to do a very, very specific sort of workaround method in the Dynasty mode to get this one to work. It doesn't work by just downloading a random team and then playing as them in the Play Now mode. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. Maybe it did when the game came out, but it certainly doesn't work now. So it took a little bit longer than it probably should have to work through. Ultimate Team is, I guess, like where you make your own ultimate roster and everything, but it's nothing like in some of the other games out there. You don't have to waste any money on microtransactions or anything like that. You barely even have to do anything in this mode. Like, yeah, you have to do that, but it's not technically Ultimate Team related. And then otherwise, you just have to start your journey and complete 10 challenges, which is super, super easy because there's like probably over 100 challenges, so just do like 10 of the easiest ones and you should have like no problem whatsoever with this one. So then Start Your Road to the College Football Playoff is a multiplayer trophy, and this one simply requires you to play your first game in the actual online game mode, where you play against other human players. Just play one game and you will get this trophy without an issue. Then you have to defeat an opponent that is a higher tier. Now, this one is interesting because I actually got it by having someone else just quit out of the game. I don't know if it's because I got like one good play off of them and then they just quit the game on me, which, I mean, I don't blame them because I did that several times because of some of the BS-ery, which I'll get back to that later. But just defeat an opponent with a higher tier one time and you'll get this trophy. So just basically play as anything except for tier 1 and select a tier that's one above you to play against. And you should be able to get this trophy without any major issues. Eventually someone will disconnect, especially if you just like annoy them or something. We'll come back to this one in a second. Then we get to the sort of play now trophies, which are all very, very easy to do. Just they can require just a little bit of setup. Might take a couple of tries, and you have to actually understand somewhat how to play the game and stuff like that. But they're not anything all that difficult. Plus, like I said before, you can adjust the sliders for all of the opposing teams and just make them completely pathetic. I will say it gets a little bit annoying because they will literally fumble the ball like every other time they get it. So in some ways it makes it almost too easy in that way because it just, you know, takes up a lot more time because then they're fumbling the ball, but then they're fumbling it sort of kind of close to the end zone that you're trying to get to. So it's slower for one of the later trophies is what I'm sort of getting at with that. So an 80-yard passing touchdown, basically just, you know, have your quarterback behind the 20-yard line and then have them complete a pass and have it be a touchdown pass. That shouldn't be too hard to do as long as you have those enemy sliders down to 0 for pretty much everything. You should be able to get this within a couple of tries. 50-yard rushing touchdown, basically the exact same thing, but just do it from, you know, the 50-yard line or potentially further if you really want to. This one is a little bit trickier to set up. You're going to want to set the game to 1-minute quarters, and then you're going to want to set up a rivalry game. For me, it was Clemson versus the University of South Carolina. And when I got to that, just set it up, you know, 1 minute per quarter, and then just, you know, play through the first 3 quarters, get the ball back at the start of the 4th quarter, then just drive the field and score a touchdown. It's a little bit situational, even with all of the sliders turned down. You still have to have a little bit of luck with certain aspects of it. But it only took me a couple of tries to get, and I think the only reason I failed it the first time was because I went for a field goal thinking that that would work, because I guess I didn't read the trophy correctly because I'm dumb sometimes. But yeah, that sometimes happens. Then this one is also a little bit buggy, I think. Either that or I might just not have met the requirements perfectly. But 200 plus rushing and passing yards with the same player means you're going to have to do that as your quarterback. Only a handful of plays actually work for the rushing yards for your quarterback. It's like there's a certain one, it's not quarterback keeper. I can't remember what the play is off the top of my head, but there's like 1 or 2 specific plays you're supposed to do this. And it's actually not that hard to get the rushing yards. Basically, you just want to swap between the quarterback running to the left and the quarterback running to the right. Basically, just swap between them every play. The opposing team is not going to have the easiest time stopping you. You'll pick up, you know, 10 plus yards every single time. So just set the quarters to something longer, like 5 to 10 minutes each or something like that, and you shouldn't have too many problems with that. Passing yards is much easier because, you know, just a few long passes will be enough for that, especially with the enemy sliders at 0. But this is where that enemy sliders being at 0 can be just a little bit tougher because they'll often fumble the ball inside like the 20-yard line to where you barely get any time with it. So what you can do is take one of your running backs or just any other non-quarterback character and have them run backwards towards your own end zone, and from there, like, have them go down at like the 50 or even like the 30 or the 20 or something like that, then drive the length of the field with your quarterback. and that will count for yards. It's also possible that sometimes the yards, like, it doesn't count them if you lose yards, if that makes any sense. So what supposedly happens is that if you lose yards as your quarterback gets sacked, or the pass play is like a screen pass or something that ends up losing yards, the game supposedly doesn't show you the yards lost. It just shows you the amount of yards you've gained without subtracting the yards that you've lost. I don't know if that's entirely true or not, but that is a potential issue with this, so just keep that in mind when you're going for this trophy. Just be a little bit careful with it. You might need to get something like 250 yards, both rushing and passing, just to make sure that it unlocks. And then it's also just known to be buggy even if you get the numbers, but usually people have had success with going into one more play now game at the end of the game and then just completing one pass and one rush, both for positive yards, and that unlocks it. So honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Then you have to force a turnover with any team with unique turnover tradition. This one is most easily done by playing as Miami. So they were the ones that sort of popularized the turnover chain gimmick in like 2017, I think it was. Was that 2017? Yeah, it was something like that. It's been quite a while though, and then a bunch of other teams did like other knockoff versions of it. But I would just say play as Miami against anyone, force a turnover against the opponent, which is very, very easy if they have all their sliders on 0, and you'll knock this trophy out. There's probably other teams you can do it with, but it's most consistent probably with them. So then we get to this trophy, which is the one that made me kind of crash out in my most recent stream of this game, because it's honestly complete BS. So you have to advance to freshman and Road to the College Football Playoff. Road to the College Football Playoff is an online game mode where you play 10 games and you like level up your sort of tier of your character or your team after every game. And unfortunately, the guide has quite a few things wrong here because they said that winning 3 games will be enough, but winning 3 games was not enough. I won 3 games out of the 10. And it did not quite get me to the freshman level, which is only up 1 level from your starting level, by the way. Just thought I'd bring that up. And they also said that if you play as a Tier 3 team or lower, you won't lose ranking if you lose a game. And that's also completely wrong because on several occasions when I lost a game, I lost a few spots to where I would have needed to win probably 1 more game, so probably 4 wins total to reach the freshman rank. And of course, you know, the guy didn't tell you that. I mean, that's the PSN Profiles one. I don't know what the like PlayStationTrophies.org or the Xbox website's guide will say for this. I need to double check with those. But yeah, so I ended up winning 3 games out of the 10. And then the game's just like, nope, you're just going to be a little bit short for freshman ranking. Not to mention, I played against at least one just blatant hacker. And actually other people in the chat went and looked at their like profile and stuff and confirmed that yeah, they have a lot of sussy stuff on their profile to where they probably are playing, you know, hacking to some degree. So at least I'm not going crazy with that because there was definitely some BS-ery going on with that. Now I think you can boost this. I do think you can boost this. I think you just have to like have one partner or even just a second console and just search at the same time but be specific teams in certain divisions and then just, you know, play against your friend and, you know, win 3 or 4 times and then just finish it out. Clearly you need to win more than 3 times though because 3 is not a guaranteed victory in this, so maybe just do it like 5 times to guarantee that you actually get it and then just switch off with the other player. But yeah, it's just really, really dumb that it takes that much now to get up to freshman level. I would have thought it would take like 1 or 2 wins to level up once because there's like 7 or 8 tiers to this. But other than that complete BS trophy, all that's left is this like dynasty stuff, which I don't think is going to be all that hard. I can definitely do that one on stream because I'm not horrendously terrible at the game. I'm just, you know, pretty bad at the game overall, but just not bad enough for struggling with these trophies for the most part. It's just that one online trophy that I'm worried about. And then Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on the PS4 has been platinumed. It is yet another Call of Duty game done. At this point, there's only 4 left. Talk about that a little bit later. So, of course, only the PS4 version has a platinum. The PS5 version is a DLC for Modern Warfare 2 2022 because reasons that are extensive and I don't really have time to talk about here, but it has to do with Activision and with Sony and stuff like that. So you have to complete the campaign on Veteran. This is not one of the harder Veteran campaigns, but it's also not one of the like super easier ones. It's somewhere in the middle. Like for the most part, it's not that hard. but there are a few tricky portions here and there. Not to mention, I actually also decided to try to do my Mike Banning challenge on Veteran, which probably wasn't my best idea in my, recent memory, but I actually did get through pretty much, like, all but, like, one of the missions on Veteran under those challenge conditions, which, I mean, I broke those challenge conditions multiple times, so it's not like it really matters that much. It was just kind of a different way to spice things up. Doing one of those challenges on Veteran for once was definitely a little bit different. So yeah, overall Veteran isn't too bad. You have some really, really good gear in your backpack you can use on a lot of missions to make things easier, like the homing knives and stuff like that. And again, for the most part, it's not that difficult. There's just a handful of difficult portions in this game. So then you get a trophy for finishing each of the different missions in the game. So, like, Bishop Takes Rook, that's sort of the tutorial mission. Nothing much to worry about there. Blood Feud is one of the early missions. Which one is this? I actually can't remember what this one is off the top of my head. Most Wanted, this is the one where you're going into the Bill Clinton rally and you have to stealth around and then go through a massive gunfight at the end. Then Hunting Season, this is the massive, massive mission where you have, like, the giant open area. And it's basically a Far Cry mission. You have to run around doing, like, Far Cry-style objectives with basically Far Cry-style stealth gameplay. It's so random, but it's actually pretty fun. The Cradle is the mission that comes immediately after it, and it's basically just, like, raiding a bunker filled with gold and stuff like that. It's also a great place to farm money. Emergence, this is the first sort of drug trippy mission, if you know what I'm talking about. It's very much just a massive, massive, massive drug trip, really is the best way to put it. And it also includes, like, zombies and zombie bosses for some reason. Then this is a really, really fun mission. High Rollers is a great mission because it's like a casino heist type of mission. It's really, really well made, really fun to play. This one's pretty straightforward. It's just assaulting the airport and you get to control a tank at the end of it. Under the Radar is mostly stealth focused, at least the first half of it. Then you drop into a somewhat familiar location. Separation Anxiety and Checkmate are the final two missions. You sort of play through them like at the same time. Checkmate's kind of like a defending the castle area, whatever you want to call it. Not castle, but just defending the base of operations, while Separation Anxiety is a just massive drug trip, once again, because honestly that's the best definition for it. Then Blood Feud is... Okay, so yeah, this is the one, like, at the very beginning of the game where you have to stealth through a few areas. You have to snipe a guy from really far away. Get through it without breaking stealth is actually pretty easy if you know what you're doing. You can do it on Veteran. You have plenty of suppressed weapons. There's not a ton of enemies. This one's very easy because there's more than 5 guards you can take down in this area. You just have to be a little bit careful, and checkpoints might not always be the nicest. Every single POI on the TAC map, this will take a solid hour. If you're even playing this on Recruit, it'll take much longer on the higher difficulties, because of course the enemies are much tougher to kill, or at least they'll kill you a lot faster. You definitely want to try to get a suppressed rifle as early as possible. There's like one specific location that has one that's fairly easy to get to, and that's definitely your best option for it. I want to say it's that like construction site area of the map where it's one of the targets that you have to take out as the main objective, but like there's a suppressed sniper rifle you can get up there next to the SAS or Delta Force Scout. Under the Radar, this one's super easy. You just have to hack a helicopter in a specific way. It's pretty straightforward. Or just, not a helicopter, hack a terminal in a specific way to shoot down the helicopter. Ground Control, this one's pretty easy, though it's definitely easier to do on Recruit, because you can get killed pretty quickly when you're in the tank on the higher difficulties if you're just trying to rush through it, though you can still get through most of it. But crushing 25 enemies is pretty forgiving. There's way more opportunities than 25. This one's very easy. Just shoot the APC twice with a rocket launcher, then blow it up with the RCXD. Purchase everything in the game. This is going to require you to collect over $13,000. And yeah, you're collecting money in a Call of Duty game because that makes so much sense. But you get money from killing like elite enemies and from looting safes and just exploring the world. This really isn't that hard though, because you can go into the Cradle mission and there's a route you can follow to collect like $500 to $700 every couple of minutes. So once you collect the money, just restart the mission and rinse and repeat, and it shouldn't take you more than like 20 minutes to get the money you need to purchase everything by the time you're done with all the other trophies. The Safe House puzzles, a few of them are a little bit complicated. You might want to look at a guide for a couple of them, but they're not too difficult overall. Do them at any time when you're in the Safe House. These next two trophies can both be done at the beginning of the Checkmate mission during the first enemy encounter. The two enemies with the remote-controlled throwing knife, which is one of the most strange and stupidly overpowered but badass weapons in the game. Just charge the knife, throw it, and get a double kill. Shouldn't be really much of a problem if you throw from the entrance to the house. This one is also very easy, just in the same area. Run out to where the enemies are, pop an adrenaline stim, and then just headshot 5 or 6 of them in a row, and you will get this one, though this one's definitely easier on Recruit compared to this one. 10 takedowns in campaign is pretty much unmissable because you're going to be doing stealth in several different missions of the game. And then 5 kills with a single score streak. This is best done on that hunting mission, hunting grounds, or what's it called? Hunting season. Yep, that's definitely your best place to do this because you have plenty of opportunities to do it. Then we get to the multiplayer. Now, the good thing is several of the multiplayer trophies actually auto-pop, as well as the zombies trophies, if you play on one version first and then go to the other version. And it actually works PS4 to PS5 or PS5 to PS4, which is even better. So this one requires you to prestige once, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just level up a bunch of times. Now, this one does auto-pop, but not instantly. You have to go into a specific menu after prestiging once. It's kind of weird, but it thankfully does auto-pop. I was kind of worried at first that it might like be bugged or something. Then you have to get a mastery badge and a diamond or opal camo for any weapon. The diamond or opal camo requires you to get basically the gold camo or whatever it is for every weapon in a class. This is best done with the shotguns. The mastery badge, I'm pretty sure, is just like, you know, fully leveling up a weapon and getting a bunch of kills with it and stuff like that. The good thing is that with both of these, you can do them in the zombies mode, and it's most easily done with the shotguns because there's only 2 of them in the base game. Though I'm not sure if I think there's like a third one that got released with DLC. I'm not sure if it counts for this now. But thankfully, if you've done it once, this trophy will, or actually both these trophies will now auto-pop on the other version. 500 eliminations in multiplayer, very, very straightforward. This one does not auto-pop, but it's still very, very easy. Win 25 multiplayer matches is pretty self-explanatory, but this one will auto-pop after 1 win if you've done it once already. The double kill with the RCXD is a little bit annoying. This is, of course, the trophy that was broken for so long on both versions of the game, but they finally fixed it, which is part of the reason why I went ahead and started this game when I did, you know, just 2 or 3 weeks ago. And thankfully I knocked it out pretty quickly. Didn't take too long to get through. Just, it does take a little bit of luck, of course, to get 2 enemies close together. And you might want to play like a bigger game mode, like a 10v10 mode, if there's any of them going on at any given time. At the time I'm recording this, they're just finishing off a double XP weekend that also had a Nuketown Chaos mode, which is basically 10v10 Nuketown, which is about as horribly designed as you probably expect it to be. Best play 3 times in multiplayer. This trophy was hell on the PS5 version because it took forever to get best play 3 times. Because even if it seems like you should get the best play, the game just won't give it to you. Even if you get like a quad feed, the game will just be like, nope, we'll give it to this other person that also got a quad feed, but we like them more. Thankfully, this one auto-pops after doing 1 more best play, but it still took me a couple of days to get when I started out on this game again on PS4. Training course takes 5 to 10 minutes, nothing difficult with that, though that is a surprisingly rare trophy given how easy it is. The Sleeper Agent, this one is really annoying because you have to be a level 51 to unlock the Sleeper Agent, so I would recommend using your permanent unlock on the Sleeper Agent before going into the second version of the game. Once you hit your first prestige, you get a permanent unlock. I would definitely recommend using it on this so you can cut down on some time. I mean, getting to level 51 does take a while, so just being able to cut back on time is always good. 50 aerial score streaks, this one's bugged. It's always been bugged. It usually takes like 60 or 70. Thankfully, though, it auto-pops after doing it once on the other version of the game. Thank God, or else this would have really, really sucked. And then the 75 eliminations with an active combat specialty perk. Basically, you have to have all 3 of your perks be the same color, either blue, green, or red, and once you do that, you'll have an active combat specialty perk. Get 75 kills with that, or 1 kill on the second version of the game, and you will get this trophy. Nothing much to worry about with that one. Now we get to the zombies trophies. The zombies mode in this game is actually pretty good. It's the best one we've had in several years. But it is a little bit annoying with a few of its trophies because they're basically all Easter egg related, or at least the map specific ones are. So this is the Easter egg for Terminus. The majority of this Easter egg is easy. It's just the final boss fight that's kind of brutal. And I only ever did it in directed mode on the PS5 version, and I did manage to do it solo, but I honestly don't know how in the hell I did it solo. because me and Sweet were playing this game, just working all these trophies, and we just struggled really hard on this particular Easter egg. Thankfully, once Robbie got in, we were able to get through it with a 3-player group. We got through it in like one try that time, but it still took quite a while, and it was still more difficult than I remembered it being, but thankfully we got through it, and that was a really, really fun stream, by the way. Thank you guys for being there for that. That was a pretty fun, like, Friday night type of stream. That was a good time. Then this is another little mini Easter egg. Basically, you just have to collect all the, like, 6 ingredients and cook them together in a pot. The only one that's kind of hard to get is the fish because it's completely random, but, like, Sweet didn't have any problems with it when I have had problems with it. Then the talisman, this one actually unlocks for everyone, whereas the fish one only unlocks for whoever cooks it. But the final talisman, this one unlocks for everyone in the lobby. You basically do a mini Easter egg where you go around the map, you like light skeletons on fire, and then you just like fight a final few waves of enemies, and then you get the talisman. It's a little weird, but it's not insanely hard, but you also can't do either of these on directed mode because the game just won't spawn the items for directed mode or won't let you pick them up. Then we get to Liberty Falls, by far the easier of the two maps. I did do this Easter egg on standard mode on the PS5 version, but on directed mode, me and Sweet just knocked it out pretty quickly in like 1 or 2 tries because it's relatively easy compared to the Terminus one as long as you can hold out during the final boss fight. And then you have to do the supervillain Easter egg, which is using the, I want to call it the Thunder Gun, but it's actually the Jet Gun, to suck up 9 superhero figurines around the map. And once you do that, you turn into a supervillain, and you can use that as a power-up for a few minutes and get a kill with it. You get this trophy, only unlocks for whoever grabs it. Then the Sporting High scores the 300 points in the bowling sort of mini-game in Liberty Falls, which was really, really annoying on the PS5. But as we found out, the number of zombies increases significantly if you play it in co-op, to where it only took me a handful of tries to get it in co-op. Unfortunately, though, you can only attempt this once every 5 rounds and only 3 times per match, which is, again, such a stupid requirement. I have no idea why they thought. I guess it's because you get gear from it, but honestly, it's just kind of a really stupid requirement. And then we get to our last 3 trophies, the 100 kills with mutant injections. This one's pretty easy because the mutant injections will drop from certain enemies or you can purchase them with salvage. 100 kills while using them. This one's very straightforward. Just, you'll probably get this one naturally just by playing through the game because you'll only need like 3 to 4 mutant injections to get 100 kills. Shouldn't be a problem. Elite zombie eliminations are the tougher enemies like the Abomination, so the 3-headed things, or the weird thing, tentacle monster thing that sucks you in on Terminus, and probably other ones from other DLC maps. The Manglers do not count for this, so just keep that in mind, only the other ones do. But while you're grinding the augments, you should easily get this one. And the good thing is that both this and the Mutant Injection Trophy auto-pop after 1 when you play on the other version of the game, which is fantastic. And then finally we have the Augments Trophy, which is by far the worst trophy in the game if you aren't auto-popping things, because researching all 10 augments, or just all augments for 10 items, takes absolutely forever. Like, this is a solid 30-hour grind, probably, maybe even a little bit longer than that. It's just like what they made us do in Modern Warfare 3. So with this one, basically, whenever you kill zombies, get XP, extract, stuff like that, you will get progress towards your augments, and you have to finish off 10 of them. Only use the ones that were in the base game. Don't do any of the DLC ones, because those apparently do not count. The problem is it just takes absolutely forever, and the best strategy is to try to survive to about round 31 and then extract, which is fairly easy to do once you get the gameplay down and have a chopper gunner in your inventory while you extract. But it's still really, really annoying because you can fail very easily. Sometimes the game is going to be buggy and not want to cooperate. And even so, just extracting once then might get you like a 4th or a 3rd, maybe a little bit under half of one of your augments done, and then you just have to get 10 of them, which is insane, because you might have like 2 to 3 done at most by the time you finish all the other zombies trophies, except maybe these other 2 grindy trophies, mainly the elite zombies, but you'll get the elite zombies while grinding out this one. But thank God this trophy actually auto-pops if you play on one version first and get it, so that is very, very nice. Even if you had to do it like one more time, just get one more augment done, that wouldn't have been awful, because I probably would have gotten that while working on the other stuff, the Easter eggs and such. So let's go ahead and sync on up our trophies. So with that, level 893, 18%, 30,166 total trophies, 865 platinums, 5,768 golds, 8,123 silvers, 15,410 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. Definitely want to keep working on LEGO Star Wars, maybe try to get that one done, as well as college football, maybe one more stream to get it done if I boost the multiplayer stuff. But that's definitely a little bit of an if because of how many problems I was having with it previously, or I might even have to do that one off screen to some degree, just because you have to get lucky with the teams you go against, the players you go against, and just the BS-ery with like hackers or just having things go against you at times is basically the best way I can put it. Because sometimes even if they're not like, even if they're a bad other team, you might still lose if you're not particularly good at the game. If you just make a handful of mistakes, it might be enough to cost you the game. So yeah, I got to work on that. LEGO Star Wars, though, is always fun. Other than those, I don't know what I'm going to work on next because obviously I have a lot of games now to play at some point in the future. I also got to start working on Sly 3's PS4 version so I can work on that whole trophy video at some point. Speaking of trophy videos, the video for LEGO Star Wars 2 is over 50% of the way done, so probably not this week, but probably like next week should have that one out, so definitely making progress on that. Next one after that is Astro's Playroom, which will be a pretty quick one, most likely. I might not go into too much depth with that one just because it's a great game, but it's a short enough game. It's like a 5-hour 100%, so it might just be better to sort of make that one a shorter video, but we'll get around to that when we get to it. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments what you guys have been working on these last couple of weeks. Schedule is not going to be fully back to normal this week because I have plans a couple of nights this week and then just family here over the weekend. So I'm not entirely sure what my schedule is going to look like this week. I know that most likely there will not be anything on Thursday because we're doing like a team dinner or company dinner, whatever you want to call it, and it's a really nice restaurant, so definitely super excited for that, but definitely won't be a stream on Thursday. Definitely just going to go enjoy the free food, and then we'll just see what other days work out. Probably Wednesday, but maybe not Wednesday. We'll have to see, and then hopefully Friday and Sunday, or like Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. I don't know yet, but should still have a couple of streams, get to maybe finish off college football, maybe start something else. I guess we'll have to see. So yep, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all back here later this week for some more content.